Hello there! What's going on, everyone? Today I'm going to be asking the question, are con exclusives bad? There's been a lot of salt lately from a lot of the FFG con exclusives that they have announced this year. I'm going to kind of take a look at con exclusives across the board. Star Wars Celebration, San Diego Comic-Con, Gen Con, all kinds of stuff like that. We're going to take a look at all of that. I also have a winner to announce towards the end of the video for the most recent giveaway, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Alright, so are con exclusives a bad idea? I know I have been following con exclusives for a long time. I want to talk a little bit about like San Diego Comic-Con, because they were like one of the first really to have con exclusives, whether it was like action figures or collectibles and things like that. One of the first that I actually ordered online, I was really upset I couldn't get, was the Grand Admiral Thrawn exclusive for the Black Series with the Chimera on the back. And and this one I opened it up because I didn't get the regular Thrawn figure, but you opened it up and you had all this, this special stuff inside, the Islamir and these, all these little artifacts for Thrawn. Super cool. I don't save the packaging. This is the only one I kind of did save the packaging for, although it's a little messed up. I will be honest with you. I'm probably going to get rid of the packaging soon because it's not really in great condition anymore. So come over there. There we go. All right. But that's not the only con exclusives that I've ever been interested in. There's been a lot of really cool Star Wars con exclusives, especially at SDCCs over the years past. And one of the things that Hasbro has done is they have often opened the SDCC exclusives up on their website for in limited quantities, which, some people think is, oh, well, now at least I have a chance to get it. And I understand that. And that's kind of what con exclusives are, right? They're like this bonus for people who are able to go to a con and say, hey, I can get something that's unique to the con, giving you as a fan and as a con goer an exclusive opportunity to get something special or unique. And I get that. And that's like on this, from one's point of view, that sounds really cool. But what if you're a fan that's just not able to go to these cons? Well, now you're either just not able to get something, which is, I think, something that people need to understand, is sometimes you just can't have everything that you want. Or the second thing is maybe if you do want it and you're forced to pay inflated eBay prices. And so kind of look at that in general, because that has certainly been the case in the past. I got this one off of eBay, but I will say that like eBay prices aren't really that inflated for something. If it's something that you've really got to have but couldn't afford going to the con, a lot of times you're just going to pay, a decent markup, maybe double the actual cost of the item depending on what it actually cost. I think I probably paid like $50 for that Thrawn, 50 to 75, somewhere in there, which is a lot. But I don't know if it was like too much, all right? So like, you kind of need to balance what you think something is worth versus what it's worth elsewhere. I think another cool way that they have done stuff, like NECA had this at this last San Diego Comic-Con, had this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie version with this diorama as this big SDCC exclusive. And what was exclusive about it was the diorama and the packaging. And the packaging is certainly something that is easily, I don't think people really have a problem with the packaging being exclusive to a con. It's what's inside the package that ends up being more of a point of contention. And so, like, all those turtles eventually were available at GameStop as well. So, and I did a review on the movie Ninja Turtles. And by the way, they're absolutely amazing. I would have been really upset if those were never available outside of SDCC, because they're probably the best figures I've ever seen. So, I can understand con exclusives like having different packaging. It's kind of nice also if you can get something online, maybe even in limited quantities. But I want to say that it is also frustrating when things go online with extreme limited quantities. I have, for Mattel, there was a Thundercats sale where they were doing limited quantities of some of the Thundercats before they canceled that Thundercats line. And I remember trying to get a Lion-O and saying, okay, well, it'll go live tomorrow at 3. And I'm sitting there hitting F5, to try to refresh and get a Lion-O. Got in, enter my billing information. By the time I hit submit, sold out. Gone. Can't get it. Turns out the next day they opened it again. Like they had what do they have, like 15 or 20 figures a day that they were, it was frustrating. So from a certain point of view, I want to make the argument that, when things go online in limited quantities, that can even be more frustrating, because now you're almost given false hope. at least with eBay and having a higher markup, all right, I either can't get it because I can't afford to pay the extra difference or the extra $20 it might cost me. Or, you absolutely can because the price is a little higher. You don't have to worry about that constant F5 mashing. You just say, all right, I'm willing to pay double. Let's get it. But I think different people are going to have different opinions on that. And so, and it's okay to have different opinions. When it boils down to, what is it worth to you? But now we're going to get into the gaming stuff because Fantasy Flight has always had con exclusives, but what they're in the form of promos or alternate art cards, like these. Some of these were from Gen Con, some of these were from past SDCCs, and they're in the thumbnail here. And I don't really use promos very much in my games, so a lot of times I will get these and just give these away. So hint, hint. Maybe I'll be giving some promos away in one of the next giveaways. You'll have to stay tuned for that. But yeah, so that's one of the things that I do is I do a lot of promo giveaways just because I don't use them. But basically, a promo is just alternate art of a card that's already in a game. So it's just an alternative for a way for you to kind of spice up your play area, and the next time you're playing X-Wing, Armada, Legion, or any of your other games. And now, people generally don't have a problem with those. They have kind of upped the ante a little bit with the spot gloss promos that have been coming out, because those are like plasticky cards and they're really, really fancy and shiny, and they've definitely improved the game lately. And they've also started to do other plastic things. Keyforge has taken con exclusives and promo items and things that you can get prize support at like Worlds and stuff to a new level with the metallic and the high quality keys, and there's been like a lot more high end items. Keyforge has even has like this vault prize tour where you can get bigger things like a table and chairs and gaming chairs and stuff like that, and like all kinds of crazy stuff. Now, granted, that's different because those are things that you can earn and you can go try to get. So that's not exactly the same as a con exclusive, but there are promos for collectible games too, like Star Wars Destiny actually has a lot, and I've got a bunch of those that may end up as a giveaway as well. So there are a lot of promos, but the promo quality has been increasing and increasing. And the biggest jump was recently when FFG announced an exclusive miniature. And this one initially set a lot of people off until you found out it was just an exclusive paint job. So it's a limited edition for Adepticon. And this is for X-Wing. And this is the ship is already available. And they also pointed out that everything inside will be identical. All the cards you're not getting a gameplay advantage. All you're getting is an alternate paint job on this ship, and it's actually very similar to the existing paint job for the one that you can get normally. It's just more of a metallic look, more of a metallic bronzy rather than like a soft tan or a light brown. So I think a lot of people looked at that and said, "Whoa, exclusive ship only for one con that I can't get elsewhere. So if I want this, I'm going to have to pay a whole lot extra," because there will probably be people who can go and get this and just put it up on eBay. So, you can certainly do that if you want. But at the end of the day, here all of a sudden is an item that maybe it's not a must-have because, well, a lot of people repaint their own X-Wing ships anyway, so you can easily recreate this at home. Maybe the packaging will be different. We didn't see the packaging. So there's, maybe it's not that big a deal. And I think the backlash for this one wasn't really that bad. The real big thing is that they came out with this next for Star Wars Celebration, the limited edition Darth Vader Commander expansion. Now, I will point out they have never done a Darth Vader Commander expansion, so it's like a unique box that you could never get anywhere else. But Darth Vader comes in the core set, so you kind of get him already in the core. They just didn't have him in his own box. So gameplay-wise, he's no different than the Darth Vader you get in the core box. He's got the same cards, he's got the same mechanics, all the same stats. It's totally the same, but what the difference is they couldn't give this one a custom paint job. Instead, they gave it a custom sculpt because they don't paint the Legion minis. Now this is going to be, also it's a new material, it's resin, so it's not just regular plastic like normal, so it's probably going to be much higher quality. So it's a resin Darth Vader miniature and a different sculpt than the Darth Vader miniature that people have already. Now this is a point where a lot of people are furious. There is a lot of salt, there is a lot of fan backlash, and I'm seeing a lot of people, basically people who are able to go to the con and that are going to be able to get one, have one opinion, and then the people who aren't able to go to the con and aren't able to get one have a completely different opinion, and there's a lot of clash between those two. And I want to point out for the community as a whole that clashing like that is not healthy. It's not healthy to fight with people over this. It's much better to talk about it, and I do want to point out one thing. As somebody who is able to go and will be able to get one, if I can get more than one, hopefully I'll be able to do a giveaway. If I don't know how many they'll have up for sale. I don't know if it'll be a strict limit of one per customer, or if towards the end of the con, if they have extras, if they'll start opening it up. All right, you can get extras now. I don't know, and so I won't make any promises. But plus I only have one suitcase, so I'm not going to be able to fit like a dozen of them in my suitcase. But the point is, this has a gameplay mechanic that's different. Well, a minor. And I'm nitpicking here, but it's a taller mini because it has this custom base, and because the silhouette of a miniature matters at least a little bit. It's slightly different. So here on the right is the original Darth Vader that comes in the core set. This one's painted up already on a base, and on the left is the new sculpt. So you can see there's a different shape of the mini, but the shape isn't that big of a deal because minis kind of fit within a general kind of silhouette or area anyway. But because this base is a couple of centimeters taller than the normal base, you have this giant like explosion of rock or whatever that he's standing on. Well, that makes him taller. He's going to be like 2 centimeters taller than the normal Darth Vader. And while that's not a huge deal, it does matter because line of sight is drawn from the top center of the mini. So this Darth Vader might be able to see somebody that the other Darth Vader might not be able to see. And that is still kind of a minor discrepancy because Darth Vader is primarily a melee character. He primarily wants to get in and close into a melee and physically touch the mini, so line of sight from him is usually irrelevant. But not always, because he can still throw his saber. He can still make ranged attacks. And so while the gameplay difference here is minimal, I would caution FFG against doing something exactly like this again. I think it's very important that if you're going to release con exclusives, that they have no gameplay difference, or virtually no gameplay difference. This one has some gameplay difference, and it could be the beginning of a slippery slope, and I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea to go down a rabbit hole that will eventually lead towards there being, oh, well, you know what? As a matter of fact, let's make a con-exclusive Yoda that's not available to anybody else. Now, yes, that's a big jump from something that's just a minor, oh, this one's a centimeter bigger, to a whole mini that's not even available. It's a big jump there. But before we get to that point, let's nip it in the bud now. I think a lot of people are asking right now, well, what's going to be the next con exclusive? Gen Con is coming up later this year. That's like the biggest con of the year for Fantasy Flight, or for gaming, for tabletop gaming. What's going to be the exclusive there? If they're in this habit this year in 2019 of having con exclusive minis, is it going to be a Luke Skywalker? Is it going to be something for Armada? I would love for it to be something for Armada, but I'm guessing Gen Con will probably be a con exclusive Luke Skywalker to kind of go with this one. Maybe it'll be Jedi Luke, right? Maybe, who knows? But maybe it'll be Luke with Yoda on his backpack. That would be cool too. Regardless of what it is, maybe it'll be exactly the same Luke, just a different pose. Regardless of what comes next, if they're going to do an alternate sculpt, I really think they need to try to fit it in the same silhouette. I think they need to fit it in the same silhouette, or very, very, very close to the same silhouette, so it's at least the same height. Now, Luke is going to be an interesting one because he's got his lightsaber up so high. So in theory, Luke could have been the one to be on a raised base, because in the original Luke sculpt, he has his lightsaber up here and it's going straight up. So it makes his miniature very, very tall because of the raised lightsaber. And as a result of that, he's already a tall mini. So Luke is somebody you could have done that with and not really had a whole big change in silhouette. But Darth Vader here, and granted the camera angle on these two photos is slightly off, so it's going to distort it a little bit, but definitely, just looking at where the feet are compared to the base, you can see that that's at least 2 bases worth of extra mini there. Now, something like that, modifications like that are apparently legal at this point, things like this will be up to a TO. And as far as I know, this is going to be a tournament legal mini. Or maybe it won't be. Like, they haven't really given us that type of details. If this ends up not being a tournament legal miniature, and if it like casual game only miniature, then that's fine. Or maybe it's something that, like, if you bring this to a tournament, you need to have the regular Darth Vader also, in case the TO doesn't approve of something that's, extra tall. Who knows? But I think this sort of thing could potentially send us down a slippery slope. And while I do love the idea of new sculpts, it's kind of unfortunate that it's not available to everyone else. So what could they do? Well, I think there's a couple of things that they could do. Like, the first thing is make sure any future sculpts kind of fit that same silhouette, like I said. Another thing is, just because this is a con exclusive doesn't mean that you can't eventually give the same type of sculpt again in the future, because what makes this a con exclusive? The artwork on the cards. The cards are all going to have con exclusive art, so you're getting a whole bunch of like promo art cards. You're getting a con exclusive box. The box says Star Wars Celebration exclusive on it. That's cool. It has that same promo artwork by Darren Tan. Is going to have his artwork all over this. So really cool stuff. I'm pretty sure he did. Well, I don't know if he's done all the art in this, and I haven't seen all the art cards that are going to come in it yet, but I know they're going to have him there signing stuff, so I'm assuming that he's done the art in here. Also, the third thing. Gosh, what was the third thing? Remind me. What was the third thing? Oh, the third thing is they could potentially make this available on their website, maybe as a plastic sculpt. All right. So here's what I'm thinking. Make the sculpt available again. Now, there's a difference between resin and plastic, but I think that difference is very, very negligible when you compare it to, having the model or not having the model. So what they might be able to do is mass produce, because it's resin, they're making it in limited quantities. That's why it's only available at the con. But if they take that mold and they were able to make a plastic mold of the same sculpt, and then eventually have that as, either maybe something that's available at other cons in the future, just in a cheaper version, or maybe put it up as like a Christmas sale or something like that. All right, maybe they have like special things like this that are available once a year or something like that, but in plastic as opposed to the resin. This way, everybody who went to Star Wars Celebration still has the special packaging, the special art cards, and even the resin version, so it'll be slightly higher quality. And then everybody who still really, really likes this sculpt, because I really, really do too, still has a way to get one. It just might not be quite as special as the con exclusive, but you still can get it. Still, that being said, it's not that big of a deal. I think in this case, this is only the beginning of a slippery slope, which means it's not game breaking yet. So I'm not, but there have been other games that had con exclusive content that actually made a real big difference in that game. WizKids come to mind. A lot of people have said that they're going to start doing what Attack Wing did, and I don't think we're on that, we're not there yet, but I hope we don't become that way, because fluff difference, visual differences are fine. It's, a little bit of flair, a little bit of panache to spice up your game is fine. But when you start actually adding units and things that have a gameplay difference that aren't available elsewhere, then we start to have a problem. So that's what I have to say about it. Hopefully, if you guys really want to get this one, you'll find a way to get it. I don't know if they're going to let extra people get one. I will say this though. Star Wars Celebration is not a gaming-specific con. There's going to be a lot of people going to Star Wars Celebration that are not interested in playing Star Wars Legion. So it's very likely you may be able to talk to some, if you have friends that are going, that don't need to get one for themselves, that they can pick one up for you. I've worked Star Wars Celebrations in the past. We have had a lot of people come through looking for promos because they had a friend who plays that game that couldn't get there. That is very common. People who aren't interested in games will still come by the booth to get one for their friend. And it's kind of and one of the things that's special about this is that it's a way to reach more people. So let's say Joe Smith, big time Legion gamer, okay, can't make it, but he asks his friend Hank to go pick him up this mini, because Hank is going to Star Wars Celebration because he wants to go to the panels. So Hank, while he's at Star Wars Celebration with a million things to do, makes his way over to the Fantasy Flight booth to pick this up for his friend. While he's there, he happens to see Legion, and he sees X-Wing, and Destiny, and Armada, and Imperial Assault, and Outer Rim, and Rebellion, and he gets his mind blown by all these games that he's able to sit down and get a demo of, or whatever. And now all of a sudden you're spreading the love of tabletop games, because you're getting a lot more people exposed to it. That is actually one of the best things about having these type of con exclusives, because it pulls a lot more people in. And at the end of the day, I think spreading the hobby to more people is definitely worth taking a risk. And I think that's what they've done here, is they've taken a risk by putting something out that is potentially different in gameplay, different than something else. So again, slippery slope. Let's try to keep it in the same profile next time. I do have a giveaway winner to announce. So we have a winner for the Star Wars Force FX Lightsaber gift card, and Amazon gift card or you can use it for whatever you want. You don't have to use it for a Star Wars Force FX Lightsaber. This has been running. I want to thank everybody that entered. You guys are all awesome, and hopefully you stay subscribed, because there will be more videos. I will actually announce the next giveaway soon. So who is our winner? Our winner is, let's find our winner. Our winner is Tony Grow. I hope I'm saying that right. So congratulations, Tony. Go ahead and send me a message, an email on the back end of my channel. I'll get your contact information, and we'll square you away. But yeah, anybody else, if you didn't win this one, just make sure you watch, because I will be announcing the next giveaway here real soon. And hopefully I can get some con exclusives at Star Wars Celebration and maybe give those away too. So if you can't go, hopefully you stay subscribed, because I will be there. I will be trying to look at as much stuff as I can, putting out videos daily while I'm there. And there's a lot of stuff to look at. There's a lot of stuff to cover, and it's going to be a really exciting time. This is going to be a great year for Star Wars. It really is. So, all right, guys, that's all I got for you today. I want to thank you all so much for watching. I want to thank my patrons as well. You guys are amazing, and I want to, just remind you guys, you are what helps make this all possible. I want to thank everybody so much, and have a great day.